While last Saturday most people, including myself, were watching the NFL, Moe Wagner ended up tearing his ACL on this play right here. So let's break it down. If you're new here, this is a channel where we go through and discuss the most recent injuries in sports, so don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on my latest videos. Going back to the replay, we can see this is a non-contact ACL injury where he takes a weird landing after a short hop, causing his knee to buckle in, and he immediately falls to the ground. When we slow it down, you can really see that awkward landing, and if you freeze it right here, you can see just how far in his knee is bending. So let's just go over some basic anatomy of the ACL. If we take a look at our posterior view here, which just means it's from the back, you have your ACL in your knee, which is right here. And it's going to originate on what we call the medial wall of the lateral femoral condyle. So when Wagner landed and his knee buckled inward, keeping in mind right now we are looking at a right leg, his femur is going that way, his tibia is going that way, and the ACL is going to receive stress in both directions. So not only will the ACL be put on stretch, this lateral femoral condyle will be moving this way, which can tear or sever the ACL almost in half. Something else you might have noticed is that Wagner's ankle is everted or externally rotated, which will lead to some more problems. So our tibia tends to follow our ankle and externally rotate as well, and our femur is internally rotating just by the nature of this valgus force. Still keeping in mind this is a right leg. So our ACL is now going to experience a torsion force that way and another torsional force this way, and a torsion force just means twisting, which will again compromise the integrity of this ACL, putting it on stretch, allowing this lateral femoral condyle to cause some damage. Now typically what we see is non-contact ACLs happen more often in females versus males. This is mainly because of the biomechanical difference in the Q angle. If you compare males to females, females tend to have a higher Q angle. Now your Q angle is just the angle that forms when you draw a straight line through your femur and a straight line through your hip joint. You can imagine how having a greater Q angle is going to predispose your knee to that buckling position. Luckily for Wagner, he is a male and a relatively large one at that. So while it didn't help him when it comes to tearing his ACL, it will be beneficial when they actually go to surgically repair it. And that is because when they actually go to surgically repair your ACL, they're going to drill a hole through your bone, about right here. That'll go through your femur and ultimately through your tibia, coming out around over here somewhere. So if you can imagine, having a hole through a bone is not the greatest, but larger people tend to have larger bones, which means there's more surface area and a lot more bone to make up for that loss. This also means if he ends up tearing it again and they have to do another surgery, they can't just go through the same hole, so they have to actually drill a second hole, making more bone loss. Like I said, bigger bones are better because they'll have more area to drill holes and make surgery easier the next time if he ends up tearing his ACL again, which he is more likely to do. And more bad news, after you tear one ACL, you're more likely to tear your other ACL. Of course, that being for non-contact injuries. If you made it this far, please let me know if you noticed any difference in the audio quality because I'm using a different mic. And don't forget to like the video and comment any of your thoughts down below, as well as subscribe to the channel as it really helps me out a lot.